Hey, Devina, I'm so happy that you're here on my Hero series. And you are the one coming from fashion design, and you have your own label. And as we know that you've been on the Telegraph the other week, you're becoming, slowly and surely famous with us. Tell us about yourself. Why did you start this fashion thing and looking after women?
Hi, NJ. Very lovely to be here. You know what? I started my brand because I have always loved sewing and fabrics and colors, and it just brings me so much joy. And it took me a long time to realize that this is what I wanted to do. But it was someone, a little angel, who said, why don't you make some things and sell them at the markets? And I resisted that for a while. And then, I started. And slowly from that, it just progressed. And yes, now I'm almost famous. I love that. It's just sort of evolved. First, I was doing it more because I love it. I still love it, but now I'm doing it more because I love seeing women enjoying wearing the clothing. I love doing my part for the environment, which is probably one of the most important things in my life. I just love nature and seeing women feel empowered. So I sort of combined the two, and now I create clothing that's sustainable and also beautiful and made with quality so that women can feel beautiful and like they deserve quality, which they do.
This is amazing. And how long you've been resisting? I normally ask my guests about, have you been, lack of self-worth? Have you been resisting that calling that you finally gave into? When was that? When you were at that crossroads and not taking action? Tell us a bit about that.
Are you referring to before I even started it with the markets? I mean, it wasn't a long resistance. Let's just say in high school, I was always doing sewing and the creative things. And when I left high school, I didn't even think about it. And then it was like maybe 3 years, this light bulb moment. Oh my God, there's this thing I've completely forgotten about, which I always I was top of the class. I mean, and I just because I loved it so much, you couldn't stop me. So it took me a couple of years to have the Lightbulb moment. And then when my friend mentioned it to me, it took me a couple of months. And then I started.
Amazing. So you had a friend who actually supported you to make that shift and make that step towards this career, huh?
Yeah, she really helped me, actually.
Yeah, see, I normally talk a lot about having the right environment, the supportive people around us, because I believe a lot of people are missing out on life, missing out on their dreams because they happen to have the wrong people around them. Sometimes they are family, sometimes they are naysayers, sometimes they are telling them it's not going to work. And unfortunately, they give in. And what do you enjoy about this fashion design and looking after women and doing this career?
That's actually a really good question. And I think that's something I should really write down on my wall. I think I just love the creating part. So when I watch people walking down the street, I'm always watching their clothing and seeing, okay, how could I make that or use that into my design, incorporate it into my designs. So that's why I love doing what I do, is because I get to be this creative person. But I also, of course, really get joy when I see people buying it and they just love it. And I just think, wow, I made that. And, I made that from nothing. And now this person is wearing it. And it's quite mind-blowing sometimes. Or I have seen a person on the street wearing my dress and I'm like, cool. That's so awesome. And of course, the story behind it as well, that for every purchase, a tree is planted as well. So I just feel like I'm doing a part for the earth as well.
I love this. In our house, my family, or me, not allowed to throw out even a white piece of paper which has one side not used. So even when I'm working with my clients, if there are any pages around here, A4, then those become used, or we just cut them up into these small handwritten hand notes if we need them later. We just I just respect you so much, because I believe there's a lot of ignorance now outside, and lack of respect for this planet. And I love people who are in the same resonance with Mother Earth. And how do we find out about your business? Where are you located? How could we find you? On the internet, or what's the brand name? Tell us something.
Oh my gosh, my brand name is Devina Louise with an E, D-E. And I am online. I've got an online store. I'm on Instagram. You can buy through Instagram as well, or Facebook. I do the Rocks Market in Sydney every Saturday and Sunday. I also am stocked throughout quite a few shops now throughout Australia, mainly New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland. And then also some online retailers as well. There's Hard to Find in the Stride store, which also, again, they're very sustainable companies. So, I'm getting out there, and you can find me many places.
This is exciting. So, and people could order from overseas as well. Have you got that worked out, or is this just coming?
Yeah. If you go on my website, you can order from overseas.
Wonderful. So you got a worldwide business, yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. And just let me ask that question. Who are your typical clients? Is there an age bracket? Is there who are your customers?
Well, I would say 30 to 60-year-old women. Pretty much. I have had some younger people buying it as well, but mostly 30 to 60-year-olds.
Amazing. And one last question. What's your biggest learning about taking up this career path and moving ahead with your dreams? What could you teach anyone who is at that crossroads and thinking about, what do I do now?
I love that question. First of all, I actually have a video of myself when I was 18 or 19 years old. A friend of mine took a video and asked me, what is it that you want to do when you're older? And I actually said on that video, I can see myself being a fashion designer and meeting people all around the world. And I just never would have thought, how is it possible? Is it possible? How do I do it? And now when I think back, I'm like, wow, I'm doing that. So all I can say is that I think it's just about starting. You can never do everything in one night. It doesn't happen in one night, but it's like doing those little steps bit by bit. And you surprise yourself, and making sure to stop and being like, wow, okay, I've done this. Celebrate.
This is so beautiful, Devina. What a finish, because I always tell people as well that, sometimes we don't know the how, but at least we should really have a vision of ourselves, or a new version of ourselves, a new self-identity, or sometimes I even ask that question that may resonate with you. Even if I failed, what would be worthwhile to do with my life? It's such a powerful question. It helps so many of my clients, and may help the audience now. But thank you very much for your time. I will put all your details under this video, and I'm hoping maybe you even give us the link to that video when you were 18 years old, which was about more than 10 years ago. Fair enough.
Yes, more than 10 years ago.
And what has happened since then?
Gosh, so much has happened. I always say that the growth of my business is like the reflection of the growth of myself as I've grown older. And I was even telling my mom the other day, when I first started the markets, I would literally stand in the change room crying because I didn't want to talk to customers. I was so scared. And now I'm just talking to them and it's actually quite a miracle. Thank God that I can now talk to people. I forgot the question already.
Perfect, Devina, because see, you are an example, an absolute example of how one can take uncomfortable action, even if it's kind of painful and resisting to it, and then see the path unfold and then see your dream coming true. Wow. Thank you very much for your time. I really loved connecting with you. And also I loved and I'm honored to support you on your journey to become your best version.
You have helped me a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.